Today on America's Court with Judge Ross.
He was in a vegetarian restaurant trying to push meat on vegetarians on a vegetarian establishment.
People like choices.
And in the email that he sent me, he was trying to have me eat meat as well.
In my courtroom, it's about equity and fairness. You want him to pay $628.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, knock my socks off. Justice should be more than just some foreign concept. I actually want you to learn something. The law talks about something may in fact be true, but can they prove it? And that's what's tough.
Fair, firm, compassionate. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Restaurant owner Phil Kampert was excited about his restaurant's grand opening until a group of protesters ruined his big moment. Mr. Kampert is suing vegan activist Carrie Stanson in the amount of $1,200. Ms. Stanson claims she did organize people to come out to the grand opening, but it was to welcome the plaintiff, not to protest against him.
All rise. Remain standing and come to order. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Kevin Ross presiding.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated.
All parties been sworn, Your Honor.
There, good Deputy Thomas. Mr. Kampert, you opened up this restaurant and you got a little surprise that was waiting for you.
Yeah, a little more than a surprise, Your Honor. Honestly, you know, my family's been in barbecue for 60 plus years now. My great-grandfather got my grandfather started in it. My dad kind of took that.
Oh, you've taken it way back.
Oh, we're going way back. We're going way back.
You all aren't playing, huh?
We're not even playing. I mean, he started this way back in Texas. I mean, they've been cooking barbecue since the 20s.
You had me in Texas. Okay, I get it. I understand.
So, you know, I mean, it's really good. You know, everything's bigger in Texas. We wanted to bring that kind of aspect back here. So my father actually took it and kind of created a mobile catering business, and we saw that we can kind of generate business from that. I went to school. I'm like the golden child of my family. Went to college, came on back, and, you know, I've been working in corporate America. I'm a hard worker. You know, I said, let me try to see if I can take this and make a brick and mortar opportunity for my family.
You were feeling your entrepreneurial
my entrepreneurial spirit. And this is like my third business. So, I mean, I've been doing this for a little while. This is the only successful one, I have to admit. But, you know,
sometimes
this is
it
my
takes
third
a minute.
business. Yes, I mean, it does.
And the focus is on barbecue. And
Right.
Ms. Stanson, you don't eat meat.
No, Your Honor, I do not eat meat. I ate meat as a child, but as soon as I became old enough to make my own choices, I decided to become a full-time vegan.
Yes. Well, you're not just a vegan.
No, Your Honor, I am not. I am also an animal rights activist, and I also, being that I've had a lot of heart disease history in my family, I also take a lot of passion in informing people about the effects that eating meat can have on
What
one's
I'm
health.
finding is I have someone who's very passionate about human beings not consuming meat.
That is
And then I have
correct.
someone else who's extremely passionate about human beings consuming a lot of meat.
It's delicious.
And therein lies the problem, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because you're trying to open up an establishment, and you aren't necessarily supporting the idea that goes behind eating lots of barbecue.
That is correct. I have been a community leader and member my entire life. And initially, I was hoping to help Mr. Camp with establishing his business.
I didn't ask for your help, to be quite honest. You know,
And the issue is, when you say help, that's a little disingenuous because you don't believe in the consumption of meat by humans.
Right.
So for someone who is selling ribs and hot links and burgers and chicken, I'm just getting hungry thinking about it. I mean,
Keep going.
hey, I'll
that
give you a
is
call, Your Honor.
not going to be a situation where you're going to find a lot of middle ground.
With all due respect, Your Honor, I honestly have a history of going around to many different restaurants in town.
Okay, let's talk about that, because I didn't know that. What's your history of going to restaurants? What do you do when you approach them?
I go to them and I just educate them on my stance and educate them on things that they may not already know about the effects of eating meat. And also,
There's a huge assumption that people want you to educate them.
Right.
Because if we start from a place of, do you have a moment I'd like to educate you? And if I say, nobody got time for that, I'm trying to make some money because this is what I'm about. At that point, it becomes a thing where you either go, okay, I respect your decision, or you go, well, no, I'm going to educate you anyway. And that feels like that's what happened here. Because didn't you actually have some sort of protest at his establishment?
well, that was not an intended protest, Your
Oh,
Honor.
come on.
I'm
But wait a
very
minute.
involved.
Stop. That doesn't make sense to me. You're an activist. You protest before on other occasions, I take it.
Right.
Okay. This wasn't just happenstance. You just didn't happen to show up at his barbecue joint out of the blue. I mean, there had to have been some planning, some conversations, some tactical things that you decided you were going to do.
Well, I was showing up, I guess you could call it a peaceful protest. I was showing up with a few people from the community that I'm very involved in social media. I have a lot of followers.
This man likes eating meat. There are people, me included, who, if the barbecue is the real deal, I'm going to the barbecue place and getting some barbecue.
I understand, Your Honor.
You're saying, no, it's not going to go down like that because I'm going to protest you being able to sell to a consumer like me.
Coming up on America's Court.
He was in a vegetarian restaurant trying to push meat on vegetarians on a vegetarian establishment.
People like choices.
And in the email that he sent me, he was trying to have me eat meat as well.
Closed captioning provided by. If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. America's Court is back with the case of restaurant owner Phil Camper, who is suing vegan activist Carrie Stanson for $1,200.
Well, as I was going to say, in many of the other restaurants, and they have responded very positively, is I've given them like vegetarian options because it opens up.
If the person does not want the vegetarian options, then what happens?
Then they don't have to put that on their menu, and
then she protests us. And that's what she does. The whole neighborhood's been talking about that.
Give me what happened between the two of you. Because now that I understand what you do, and I understand why you do it, because you said you're passionate about it. I get passion. It's when one person's passion spills over into someone else's passion and what they want to do and their perspective.
Your Honor, honestly, you know, like I started this business, I went around and I'm a nice guy. I like to introduce myself. There's a build your own burger restaurant or something down the street. The name slips me right now. I went and introduced myself to them because I thought, hey, this would be my biggest competition. So let me go make sure they know who I am. I know who they are. We can size each other up. I went to some of the coffee shops, some of the other restaurants. And then I happened upon the vegan restaurant and I said, hey, no way, shape, or form is this my competition. Let me make sure that I go in there and introduce myself. I think the guy's name is Charlie. I'm sorry, it slips you right now.
All right.
And I went and talked to him, and I introduced myself, and I said, hey, I'm a new business owner. I welcomed him and his family to come to my grand opening. And, you know, I'm going to be honest, you know, like, she's an attractive woman. I saw her eating in the restaurant. I didn't pay too much attention to her. I actually don't.
Well, wait a minute. You just contradicted yourself. You said, I saw she was an attractive woman, so you did pay attention to her.
I mean, I did, but I didn't pay too much attention to the fact, like, that I think I would see her ever again. Hey, she's a pretty girl at a restaurant.
He was in a vegetarian restaurant trying to push meat on vegetarians on a vegetarian establishment.
People like choices.
And in the email that he sent me, he was trying to have me eat meat as well.
Well, wait a minute.
So I don't understand how that's...
I'm talking.
I just gave a flyer.
I'm talking to her. You said he was pushing meat in a vegetarian restaurant.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
Well, he was trying to have the owner of the restaurant come to his grand opening and telling them that he was going to be a meat-eating contest.
And the owner of the other.
Yes, sir.
And you were nearby hearing this conversation.
Yes, sir.
Was there a conversation that you had with the owner?
Yes, absolutely.
And what was that conversation involved?
The conversation, hey, how you doing? You know, my name is Phil. Would you like to come to my restaurant? I'm new in the neighborhood. How are you doing? You have a family? You know, the usual kind of stuff.
And you took that as he was pushing meat at a vegan place.
He did bring up the fact that they were going to be having a rib eating contest.
I'm so sorry to promote my business at the local businesses.
Well, wait a minute.
Shucks.
Sir.
And
I can only hear one person
the
at a
way
time.
that he went about it was in a very, it was just joking and almost disrespectful.
To who?
To the owner.
But the owner wasn't complaining. A person is having a conversation with C person. I mean, no, that's wrong.
A, B, C.
A person is having a conversation with B person.
Right.
C person is all in the Kool-Aid and don't even know the flavor.
At all.
Right? And because ultimately, if this person is having a conversation with this person, Why are you all in their business and then going to respond to something that has nothing to do with you?
Well, I just don't see what the difference is, with all due respect, Your
It wasn't
Honor.
meant for you to see. The conversation was between this man as a business owner with another business owner. And I take it that from that conversation, you had a reaction to it. Yes?
I just didn't think that the way that he was conducting himself was very respectful.
Why did you even interject yourself into the situation? I was talking to Charles. He and I had a conversation.
Sir, I got this.
My fault. My fault. My fault.
As a result of you hearing this conversation, then what did you do?
He left his flyers there for everyone that would like to have one, and he was trying to educate people about his business. And so then in turn,
You took a flyer, and then what
I
happened?
took a flyer, and I emailed him and welcomed him to the community, and also told him that if he needed any help with anything, that I would be more than happy to help him.
Is that what the email said?
I mean, it said so much more than
Is
that.
that yes or no?
Yeah, no.
Okay. What is
It's
it?
in the
that-
email
what-
that you have, Your Honor. It says that
I don't
please
have
let
an
me
email.
know.
Your Honor, I have the email right
have
here.
her
I mean,
email?
this is, you can see exactly
Well,
what
you
it
brought
says.
it. Let me take a look at it.
It started nice, didn't finish nice.
Hold on, sir.
I clearly state,
Hold
Your
on a
Honor,
moment,
that
Ms. Stanson. She starts off, I'd like to graciously welcome you to our community. It's a pleasure to have a new business in the area.
She called my meat gross.
Sir,
the contest.
ma'am,
And coming up on America's Court with Judge Ross.
that's offensive. You're not talking, you're listening. That's offensive.
Closed captioning provided by. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. America's Court is back with the case of restaurant owner Phil Camper, who is suing vegan activist Carrie Stanson for $1,200.
What you're essentially saying is having a gross meat-eating contest really necessary? That's inconsistent with welcome, and this is gracious, and now you're going to call something that you don't even know, you've never seen it, you've never tasted it, you've never experienced it, gross meat-eating contest. That's offensive. You're not talking, you're listening. That's offensive. If this is what he does for his business to support his family, to live his American dream, for someone to say that's gross, what you're doing,
Right.
is offensive. On behalf of the local vegetarian vegan community, so you're going to speak for every person who's a vegan and a vegetarian in the area, and then you say, I want you to be mindful of the harm you're causing, not only animals, but people's health too, the health of the people as well. And then you tell him, instead of having a meat-eating contest, have a corn on the cob eating contest.
Corn.
It was a simple recommendation, Your Honor.
What
that
kind of recommendation is corn?
It's a great side.
Would you eat corn at a barbecue
Mr.
eating
Camper,
contest?
Mr. Camper,
It is a
Have you
lot
ever
more.
had barbecue? I
stop.
mean,
Are you going to ignore me?
I apologize.
Coming up on America's Court.
Rib eating contest is an essential part of our grand opening. Don't be afraid of the meat. If anything, come by and taste it for
It's
yourself.
delicious.
That is so disrespectful, Your Honor.
Closed captioning provided by. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. America's Court is back with the case of restaurant owner Phil Camper, who is suing vegan activist Carrie Stanson for $1,200.
It's offensive.
Well, I apologize that you see it that
I
way, Your
realize
Honor.
that's
but
not that I see it that way. I'm looking at someone who has asserted themselves and saying that they're speaking on behalf. You're speaking on behalf of you, based on this conversation. I realize you're busy with the opening of your store, but if I can be of service, please let me know. I wish you all the best of luck. All right. So there are some areas of this where I see that you're trying to be pleasant. And then there's some other parts that are just off topic in terms of your message is mixed. I would read this as, what is wrong with this person? I don't even know who this is. I get that. Now, you respond, I recognize your concern.
Right.
Rib eating contest is an essential part of our grand opening. Don't be afraid of the meat. If anything, come by and taste it for
It's
yourself.
delicious.
that is so disrespectful, Your Honor.
What?
For him to tell me, come by and taste it for myself.
Now we want to be affronted by someone's using of a word in email, son. Now you're so you don't see your email being disrespectful, but you see his.
I do, because I was not calling the meat itself, I was not calling his food
Gross
gross.
meat. Gross
I was
meat.
simply saying that the idea of having an all-you-can-eat
If
rib
you have
contest,
to
that is so
explain
harmful to
what
so
you're
many
saying,
animals,
then
Your
that's
Honor.
the problem in and of itself.
Judge Ross's verdict when America's Court returns. You're watching America's Court with Judge Ross. This is America's Court with Judge Ross.
What was the problem? Why are we here?
I mean, the problem is, Miss Stanton, like, there was not an angry mob, but there was a mob of, like, disinterested people that just came to my restaurant, and they were just sitting there with kind of like signs, and they had on their hippie clothes, and they were just kind of, oh, meat is murder, oh, you know, death to the meat eating.
Show me any damages as it pertains to the $1,200.
The damages, oh, I have receipts. So,
Show
like
me.
I said, we had pre-orders, and you can see right there.
Because the $1,200 reflects what?
So we had more than that, but
The
I had.
$1,200 reflects what?
It reflects our pre-orders. We're selling 40 pre-orders, $30 a plate. That's $1,200 that I missed out on because people did not come. It was a news truck
Here's
there.
what
People
you
were.
have provided me.
Yes.
Don't give me any more than what I need.
Yes.
You have made photocopies of receipts.
Absolutely.
What I don't have any context for what these receipts reflect.
So those receipts are actually the pre-orders that did not get picked up that day.
All I have is receipts.
Okay.
I don't have anything that indicates that all of these receipts were not picked up. I need some sort of ledger. I need testimony. I need video or someone saying, you know what, I pre-ordered. I didn't cash the order. I don't have bank statements. I don't have anything other than copies of receipts saying these are pre-orders that I
Honestly,
weren't able
my
to
nephew put it
sustain.
on like with the Twitter chat, Snapchat, or whatever, that we had all this food left over. I mean, we had like
I don't
piles
even
and
have
piles of
proof
food.
of the food that you purchased, and if you had to donate it, then that would. I need something other than just photocopies of receipts.
Well, Your Honor, I mean, all I can tell is, honestly, we went down to the homeless shelter after that. We gave it away. I mean, our family is, we like to eat meat, but we don't like to eat that much
I
meat.
understand. You have proof of that.
I don't have proof of it, but I mean, I can go to the homeless shelter, you know.
Who bears the burden in a small claims case?
I'm sorry?
Whose responsibility is to prove their case when you come to court?
Mine. The plaintiff.
Exactly. And based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, the gavel has to come down in favor of the defendant. You don't have any proof of the loss.
There's security footage.
Where is it?
I mean, I don't have access to it.
Your matter is dismissed. Case closed.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been denied.
Overall, I feel that justice was served today. I do wish that the rally at Mr. Camp's restaurant had been more peaceful, but I'm vegan and I think that other people should respect my lifestyle.
I respect the judicial system, don't agree with the ruling. This is America, and people have the right to choose what they want to eat without being protested.
Follow America's Court on Facebook and Twitter. This has been a production of Entertainment Studios.